circular and longitudinal.
Circular
No, circular, longitudinal.
The bottom one's longitudinal.
Yeah, there's the myenteric nervous system, so because it's between the two layers, the yellow, so that's why they've separated.
Okay.
And then the serosa. So I can do the 4 layers of the digestive system on this. And of course, it's a piece of the small intestines. So we've got the villus, and they've got 3. All of these structures would be in one, but they've separated them out. So a capillary bed, a lacteal, we still have some capillaries in there, and then there's also a smooth muscle that's in there, and then what's the gray that you find?
Lamina propria.
The lamina propria. And then they're covered by simple columnar cells. We have mucus cells between the simple columnar cells. Yes. And then we have intestinal crypt. And notice the intestinal crypt will stop before the muscularis mucosa, which ends the layer of the mucosa. So don't confuse that with what might be Brunner's glands in the submucosa. So we have Brunner's glands.
Muscularis mucosa.
Yes, muscularis mucosa, the end of the mucosa, mucosal layer. Submucosa. Brunner's glands found in what portion of the digestive of the small intestines? Duodenum. And then Peyer's patches that push up into the mucosa, so that's accurate because that's what they look like on our slide. And they're found in what portion of the intestines? Keep going. The ileum, the end where you've got bacteria. And then this is just dense connective tissue. So in this, it's called lamina propria here, dense, irregular connective tissue with blood vessels, lymph vessels, nerves through it. And then muscularis externa that you already identified, circular and longitudinal layers. So any of those are fair game on that, and then serosa. Yeah. And so I usually use that a couple of times. I'm on the lab practical, so it's good for from 4 to 6 questions.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you show me the lamina propria and the submucosa on the
slide?
Yeah.
Tracheoesophagus.
And I'm also afraid of what I've forgotten. I'm not sure if there are things that I've forgotten around.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's esophagus. All right. So I've moved to the opposite end. So let's just show you where I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at this end, and I can see the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. I can see a thin submucosa. Sometimes it's thicker, sometimes it's thinner. And then I see the hyaline cartilage of the tracheal ring.
Okay.
Then I'm going to go to one higher magnification. And the lamina propria is what's found right underneath where you've got a big blood vessel running through it.
And I wish I had another.
How about?
So for the trachea, you're gonna be on that end of the. Are you gonna have a slide on the esophagus or the esophagus stomach junction?
Yeah, I always use that one. So every lab practice.
I don't think we did the esophagus.
We didn't?
Well, I mean, I don't think I had a picture of it in our doc.
So.
And yeah, I feel better because I did that.
So I would find, to be honest, I would find a better slide for this. But where the pointer is where the lamina propria would be. There's other slides where you can actually see a band there.
Right, it's like the basement.
Kevin had one.
Basement lamina, right? Right below.
Basal
lamina.
Yeah.
Is that the
What's
same thing?
between the lamina propria and the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium is the basement membrane, but we could never see it.
Oh, we can never see the basement membrane. Okay,
well,
I see.
How come I can
And
see
then
it on mine? How come I can see it on mine? Because
whoa. Basal lamina is different from the lamina propria.
Yeah. I thought it was the area where the cells were differentiating.
So wait a second. So the underneath the epithelial cells is a basement membrane.
Yeah.
Underneath that is a lamina propria.
Yeah. And you said we couldn't see the basal lamina, or rather the
basement membrane.
But I thought that was the area where the cells are obviously differentiating. It's like a layer of round cells.
That's a lamina propria.
Well, the lamina propria, the red part, you couldn't see any nuclei or cells.
Okay, so that
depends what slide there's different trachea esophagus slides, and they're going to look a
Okay.
little
Is that
different.
the ligament that is showing right now?
So
So
no.
if you could just not ask
Let's go
any
on.
questions on those two layers, because they're
So
No, that's not the ligament. That's if we go to scanning, we can see we just have pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. And remember
Below that
and I think what you're talking about is the trachealis muscle.
Oh,
Is
that
it is up at the end of the C-shaped cartilages,
is this
right?
right? So what's the difference between submucosa and lamina propria? I think that.
The lamina propria is part of the mucosa. The submucosa is below that. So the lamina propria is still part of the. Where'd that model go? Oh.
right there.
Right here. So the lamina propria. Now that's a trachea, but it's still a mucous membrane. So the lamina propria, you didn't have any problem telling me this was a lamina propria underneath the simple columnar cells. Because it's big, it's within the villi.
Okay.
On that, now our epithelial tissue is pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium.
Okay.
But and what's underneath it is a far thinner layer of lamina propria,
Okay.
right? We don't have the big villa.
Are you gonna be able to see submucosa on here? On this slide?
Yes, where you see blood vessels or mucus glands. On your
Okay.
slide, there's blood vessels. On the slide Kevin had of the trachea, it had mucus glands. Remember in the submucosa,
Oh,
you're
right.
going to find glands, blood vessels, nerves.
Okay.
Even though this is the digestive system and that's the urinary system, you're still going to find in the submucosa a variety of things, depending on the slide.
This one is really confusing to me.
But on the trachea, there's no muscularis mucosa.
No, there isn't.
Okay. Okay.
No, because you don't change the muscularis mucosa. It's going to change the lumen of the digestive system, but you're not going to change the lumen of the trachea. You're going to keep it open
Yeah.
with the C cartilages and the
There's no
trachealis
need
muscle.
So is this the trachea that we're looking at right here?
Did you see hyaline cartilage?
hepatic and renal mixed up.
Look for the hyaline cartilage, and then you know you have the trachea and not a part of the digestive system.
The green does both
Would you be kind of
Well, this
obvious
part,
on, maybe on your question, like say something
the
in the
hepatic
respiratory system, what I
bile
find?
vessels. So
Is this cartilage here?
Yeah, like,
card?
yeah, would you be that obvious? Or would you not let
No,
us
you
know?
know those are real, like, name the structure at the end of the pointer. Name the cell at the end of the pointer. So you have to recognize a trachea from an esophagus-stomach junction, from an ileum or a duodenum or a jejunum. Yeah, you've got to, and what would you look for? What is on the trachea slide that is not going to be on not going to be on the spleen, not going to be on the digestive system, not going to be on any of the other slides?
Like the
Hyaline
trachea.
cartilage. So, on the slide, on the left practical, I will make sure that there's hyaline cartilage in that field of view.
Okay,
So if you see hyaline cartilage, that's what it is. It's not even on the lung and bronchiole.
Sure.
It's only on that one.
okay, so this,
Yes?
no. So this must be the trachea.